There is an end to things. Every year, for the past 25 years, the end to the paintball season story comes in Orlando, where the best paintball teams have gathered to see who will earn the World Championship. It's the Super Bowl of paintball, our Everest. Win here and you are a legend forever. For a professional paintball player, it's the last Sunday of substance, a place where time condenses, because you have one day to sum up your year. Occasionally a series title is won here, though it doesn't happen often. This year the race was close, and Houston Heat could catch Edmonton Impact if they won the event, and Impact took third. It was the last of 5 Sundays.
Welcome 2018 NXL World Cup here on Sunday, the most important day of the year.
Houston Heat's World Cup started off well, beating DMG 7-4 and Elevation 6-0 in their first 2 games. Then they had a close win against Aftershock, took a 1-point loss to San Antonio X Factor. They hadn't been in a wildcard round all year. Now they would have to win 4 games in a row to have a chance to win the series title. After dropping their first 2 games to Impact and the Russian Legion, LA Infamous had to win their last 2 preliminary matches to have a chance to get into Sunday. They beat PC Katana by 1, and then Mercy ruled the Outlaws to seal up their Sunday spot. Infamous had a slight one-body advantage in the first point, but Chad George snuck into the Snake and got a shot on Thomas Taylor to even up the count. George then put a shot on Mikowski, and Heat took the early lead. For the next 2 points, Infamous couldn't get any offense rolling, and it was impossible for them to keep 5 bodies alive on the break. They went down 3-0. But then they tightened it up and fought back, shooting good lanes off the break, not losing a body, and winning a perfect point. Even with the lead, Heat took ground, getting Chad George into the Snake off the break. Rodarte and Parrish pushed forward, knowing Infamous needed quick points. Fedorov tried to scramble to save the point, but Drew Templeton ran him down.
Thinking maybe there was a body at the 50. There goes Ryan Moorhead. He moves up, and here comes Parrish. Parrish is going to also run through. He stitches up Ryan Moorhead, and does he stay alive? The ref is going to get in there and check out Parrish as Konstantin Fedorov sees the bloodbath go down on the Snake side. Fedorov able to get to the can. Parrish dies, and then here comes Mikowski past the 50-yard line, but he gets clipped by Fedorov. And now going to have a minor penalty. That's going to take out Thomas Taylor. There still is a body left alive, though. Fedorov is, and then here comes Drew Templeton trying to save this one. Konstantin Fedorov looks like he's still alive. He's about to get diced up. You got to be careful not to get a penalty himself, but it looks like Drew Templeton, with 1 minute and 48 seconds left, is going to make this one interesting here.
With 1 minute and 48 seconds left, Heat lost 2 at the start of the next point. Fedorov drew a minor penalty, and there was a glimmer of hope for Infamous.
Need 2 to tie. Thomas Taylor doing a great job of blowing this one open. We're going to see a minor penalty assessed on Konstantin Fedorov, but here comes Chad George is trying to save it. He gets diced up by Parrish and Rodarte.
Then with 1 minute and 5 seconds left to go, Parrish and Rodarte went hard into the Snake. Parrish put a ball on Moorhead's loader, and he was assessed a major.
Thomas Taylor dives past the 50, and he is trying to live by his gun and run through.
Ryan Moorhead is playing with a hit.
We're going to see a major penalty assessed on Houston Heat. 2 majors go in the air. That's going to be a swing point immediately and tie the game.
I don't know how that guy
can't keep that secret.
Like
well, we did realize that he looks like a young Doc Brown from Back to the Future, so he may have the magazine with all the scores in it. You know,
he's got the Sporting Digest.
Yeah,
2018.
They throw the major there.
Yes,
Ryan still hasn't left the field.
Yes,
and he continues to shoot.
So here's it from the opposite side. Thomas Taylor launches. He shoots Ryan Moorhead. Ryan Moorhead has no idea he has that hit on his loader, or he would not be continuing to shoot. And you can see there as Infamous is just pumped up in the pits, realizing they still have a chance.
Which gave the point immediately to Infamous, and it was tied 4-4. In overtime, Rodarte was the first to push the Snake side. Then Fedorov countered on the D side, getting to the 50. Both teams battled for position, but Infamous lost too many bodies, and after Dizon hit the buzzer, Heat scraped by Infamous to advance to the quarterfinals.
Stops the comeback. Dizon gonna get in there and hit that buzzer. Houston Heat eliminates Los Angeles Infamous. Well, as long as Dizon is clean, there's the thumbs up. Solid point across the board for Houston Heat.
San Antonio X Factor was on fire during both days of the prelims, Mercy ruling Elevation and Aftershock in their first 2 games. They took down DMG by 2 on Saturday, and then edged out Houston Heat by 1 to go undefeated. After the Heat game, Archie Montemayor and Sergei Sonaisko exchanged a few words.
30 seconds.
Hey, after the game, shut the fuck up.
You shut the fuck up now. Shut the fuck. Hey! You want to hit me right now? Sorry, go ahead, buddy. Come on, man. Come on. Hey, shut up, Archie. Hey, Archie. We're inclusion class. He's over here fucking pushing me. Hey, have fun tomorrow, man. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
AC Dallas won both their games on Friday, barely beating New York Extreme 4-3, but beating up on Seattle Thunder 7-1. They started off Saturday with another Mercy Rule win over the ML Kings, but lost by 1 to the Ironmen to go 3-1. They matched up with true Texas rivals and former world champs X Factor in the quarterfinals.
I apparently was too aggressive with the referee, disagreeing with his call, and he felt the need to eject me, so I'm on the sideline. We practice as a team, we play as a fucking team, so these guys got it, we'll be good.
AC Dallas would not have access to John Jackson, as he was suspended in an altercation with a referee in their last game. Both teams lost their first attackers at the beginning of the first point. Billy Bernaccia for X Factor and Brad McCurley for AC Dallas. Archie Montemayor took the early walk as well, and AC Dallas had a slight advantage, 4 bodies on 3. TJ Danner also dislocated his shoulder, but was able to put it back in the socket, fight through the pain, and continue to play. Down a body, X Factor took 3 back spots, locked into gunfights, and hoping a window of opportunity could be created. Ryan Hall made it into and past the 50 snake, but Colt Roberts attacked and was able to take him out. On Colt's move, Woodley moved out wide. Brandon Rabikoff lost a gunfight to Grayson Goff to even the count. But Goff was then shot by Danner, trying to explore angles in the center. AC closed out the 2-on-1, and the longest point of the event, running 9 minutes, was over. The next 2 points, the off-the-break shots for AC Dallas made a difference. They went up 2-0 when they shot Colt and Archie off the break and forced a quick concession. And then they put up their 3rd point on the board when they shot Montemayor for the 3rd time in a row and took out Bernaccia as well. Matt Jackson won the snake battle against Colt Roberts.
I think Ryan Hall got clipped, though, getting out wide, and he did. But
yeah, X Factor loses 2, though. Archie's been shot on the break every game this match.
Yeah, tough break here for Archie. 5:13 on the clock. AC Dallas up by 2. Matt Jackson's past the 50-yard line. Absolutely, that's the shot. We've seen guys, a lot of guys die out of that spot. Now Colt Roberts is going to try to get across.
Yeah.
Not much Colt could do. That D side was blown open, and Colt was probing and trying to find a way to get a kill.
Yeah,
but
all he could do is go forward and hope to get the guy in front of him and keep going.
Then the lead got even bigger when it came down to a 3-on-3, and Matt Jackson made a quick read to put up a 2-pack to finish the point. Now down by 4, it looked like things were going from bad to worse when Bernaccia started the next point without a gun, and then they lost another body to make it a 3-on-5.
But it looks like Archie's on that Dorito side already.
Have you guys ever seen this? Because I've never seen this.
I was wondering if there's a rule against it because they make a bunch of dumb rules. I would like to say, though, to all the X Factor players, if you guys can't get enough guns, please come by the GI booth and we will give you all the guns that you need.
But X Factor refused to roll over to their regional rivals. Archie Montemayor and Jesse Stevens charged up the D side to steal the point.
Able to get it done.
Hey, Billy had his best game so far with no gun.
No gun.
He should just play every game with no gun.
So, Matt, we've seen today pods being thrown, 60-yard bombs in the snake side, and no gun.
After Bernaccia was bunkered out in a one-hand diving shot by Matt Jackson, Montemayor and Stevens again pushed down the D side to score a quick point for X Factor. There was 50 seconds left and X Factor needed 2 points. They made it interesting with a perfectly executed 25-second point, but they couldn't replicate it in the last point to tie. AC Dallas moved on to the semis, and X Factor packed their bags to head home.
Game time finished. Game time.
Let's go! Take it on his shoulder and play the whole point with.
So far, it's been a 1-point match. It was 1 point between Heat and Infamous, which went to overtime, 1 point between Damage and DMG, and both of these sets so far.
Maybe the paintball gods are coming back on our side. You know, they've been giving us a hard time for a long time with all this weather. Maybe they're making up for it now with some good matches.
Everything in prelims goes really, really fast. Sunday paintball and professional league, it slows down a lot. People don't want to let you, they don't want to give you any inch, they don't want to give you anything. So the bumps and the shots are even harder to hit on Sundays. We just took down X Factor in a 4-3 match. Really, really close, kind of some questionable calls here and there, but refs are doing their best. 4-3, AC came out on top.
San Diego Dynasty coasted through the prelims at World Cup undefeated, beating Damage, Boom, Revo, and Mercy ruling Uprising. The only game that was close was against Tampa Bay Damage. They matched up with Edmonton Impact in the quarterfinals, who, after taking 9th place at the last event in Chicago, was trying to maintain their position as the best team in paintball. Impact won their first 3 games in the prelims, but dropped their last game to the Russian Legion 2-3. When people argue about which is the best team ever to play the game, Dynasty and Impact are at the top of everyone's lists. Impact got off to a rough start, losing 3 quick. Frazier and Short finished off the point from the Snake side. Brandon Short for Dynasty and Brandon Cornell for Impact both came off early in the second point. Alex Frazier got clipped by Rainey Stanzik diving into the Snake. Keith Brown went past the 50, but was shot cross-field as Tyler Harmon came off for Dynasty. Justin Cornell got the shot on Margot to tie the game. Alex Goldman went into the Snake in point 3 and got a kill inside as Dynasty drew a penalty. Goldman then finished it from the Snake side to go up 2-1. Dynasty then tied it up with a perfect point after a penalty on Keith Brown. Impact had a 4-on-3 advantage in the next point, but Goldman went to sleep on Frazier, who made him pay. But Marcelo Margot received a minor in the back center, which forced the concession.
Got a call up here past the 50-yard line. There's Marcelo Margot. That's the one gun that is trying to keep him honest over here. And then repositioning on the Snake side. And he's going to get the shot. Alex Frazier catches Alex Goldman.
Alex.
Beautiful move by Alex Frazier, the veteran out here. And now we're going to have a minor penalty assessed on Marcelo. Ooh, that's kind of rare. We don't see him get a lot of penalties. That's going to pull out Tyler, but Tyler's going to run down.
After a 5-on-5 breakout, a penalty on Rainey Stanzik cost Impact the point. Alex Frazier ran down Cornell as Short filtered in behind him with a move to tie the game.
Misses him.
What a beautiful job by Justin.
No,
Justin is going to come off, so Brandon Short comes through, and Brandon Short is now going to polish off the last 2 players, and now San Diego Dynasty is going to tie this up.
Now we got
here.
a game.
It was 4-on-4 after the start of the next point. Impact went more aggressive on the Snake side, getting Nick Laval and Alex Goldman up the field. Impact took back the lead when Laval shot Short, trying to fill into Snake 1. Dynasty was now down by 1 with 1 minute and 34 seconds left. Both teams made it out 5 alive, and it stayed that way until Dynasty started their push with just 20 seconds left. Alex Frazier and Tyler Harmon pushed through the center. When the gun shifted, Yosh Rao made a last-second attempt up the D side, but Impact held strong and won the game, knocking Dynasty from the World Cup and advancing to the semifinals. 1 game closer to redemption and retention of the #1 spot.
Good job, good job. I was like ripped him.
Obviously, he's going to be mad.
I know. He was just hoping for
Let it fucking be, team.
Hey, good job, squad.
But still, Impact is going to move on to the semifinals, where they will wait for the winner of the Russians damage match. That's coming at you next. And also, Los Angeles Ironmen going to be taking on Houston Heat. The winner of that game will be playing AC Dallas in the semifinals. We're here, 2018 NXL World Cup. Matty Marshall with Steve Rabikoff, Rich Telford here at GoSports.com. We'll be back.
Fresh off their win at the last event, Moscow Red Legion blazed through the prelims with wins over the Outlaws and PC Katana on Friday, and hard-fought 1-point victories against Infamous and Impact on Saturday. They matched up with Tampa Bay Damage, who had warmed up by beating DMG in the wildcard round. The game started with a 5-on-5 break, but Jacob Edwards died off the D side. Damage also lost Chad Bougere from the center to give the Russians a 2-body advantage. Damage had 3 bodies on the Snake side. They could not stop Alexander Burtnikov as he stormed up the field, racking up 3 kills and putting up the first point. Damage again lost Jacob Edwards in the second point, and Silos Cortez took a hit as he extended to the Snake. It came down to a 2-on-5, and Damage conceded the point. The Russians continued to focus guns toward Jacob Edwards as he died off the break for the 3rd point in a row. Damage then lost Dan Holiday on the Snake side. Kura Pridney lost a gunfight to make it 4-on-3. But then Karslev put a shot on Tim Montresor. The Russians went up by 3 points. The Russians put up 2 more in similar fashion, and Damage was staring down a 5-point deficit with 9 minutes and 37 seconds left. But then they started a comeback. Montresor went to work in the Snake and got some help from a Russian penalty. He ran down Smotrov to put their first point on the board. The Russians lost bodies on both sides in the next point, and Damage capitalized on the 5-on-3 situation, winning gunfights and putting up their 2nd point in a row. But then their comeback ran out of steam. Though Holiday had a nice run-through to keep it entertaining, Damage had no real answer for the Russian combination of off-the-break shooting and coordinated aggression. Damage got knocked out, and the Russians moved on to the semifinals.
The first 3 or 4 points of this match, they played really strong, actually. Put us in a bad situations where we had to speed up a lot and actually try to win quick points. Some of those points we got, but for the majority part, just being in that bad situation put us in a rough spot.
Yeah, they're a good team. They're really solid coaching. Their scouting was on point. They probably shot 1 or 2 bodies
every point for the first 3 or 4 points. Kind of put us in a hole. They pressed the snake side really hard. And then we just kind of had to go at them. Got a couple nice points in towards the middle of the match. And then, you know, you kind of get that seesaw point. You got to win or lose, kind of get back into it. And unfortunately, we lost a pretty close body point and put us on our heels. So it is what it is. We had a good season. We're happy with where it goes. So.
The Los Angeles Ironmen went 4-0 in the prelims, but they had to fight for each win. 3 of their prelim wins, against Thunder, Extreme, and AC Dallas, were by 1 point, and the other win against the ML Kings was by 2. A hard fight in the prelims can oftentimes tighten up a team, and the Ironmen were eager to repeat the solid Sunday performance from the last event in Chicago, where they took 2nd place. They took on Houston Heat, fresh off their win against Infamous in the wildcard round. Alan Golding shot a lane in the open off the break and barely made a spot into the back bunker on the Snake's side. But he won his first gunfight with Chad George to give the Ironmen the first advantage. Houston Heat San Monville then drew a minor penalty. Ronnie Dizon made it interesting with a move up the D side. Though Fedorov shot Golding in the 3-on-1, he couldn't pull off the 2-on-1, and Bobby Aviles finally found him to give the Ironmen the first point. Heat lost Chad George again early in the second point. Ronnie Dizon was off to the races and ran right into the D-side 50 brick. The Ironmen lost Reeser to make it a 4-on-4. Dizon then traded out, which took the count to 3-on-3. Heat had better field position, and Moorhead was proactive in the Snake, but the Ironmen's defense held strong with the Villas and Sewers, and they went up 2-0. 2 long points left Houston Heat down 2 with 6 minutes and 45 seconds left. Houston Heat came out with a heavy snake push. Spica tried to take back some ground, but was shot on his move. Ronnie Dizon then got into the 50 when the gun shifted. The Ironmen lost 3 out of their spots at the same time on the pinch. Heat put up their first point. In point 4, Heat was able to put a shot on Spica off the break and get Moorhead into the 50 Snake with Chad George with him. The Ironmen were again on the defense after the death of Spica and the real estate taken by Heat. George crawled past the 50. Sewers went forward into D4 and Reeser was pinched out. It was 3-on-5. The tight offensive push from Heat tied it up. Heat had been neutralizing Spica all game, so the Ironmen sent him to the Snake off the break. He stayed alive. But with less than a minute to go, the Ironmen dropped 3 bodies behind him and on the D side. With just Reeser and Spica left, the Ironmen conceded to give themselves at least a fighting chance. Needing a 45-second point, the Ironmen went hard first in the center and then outside. But the Ironmen attack got stuffed, and Heat's comeback win was complete. Their hopes for a series title were still alive.
And the Ironmen got a gift with those two first points. You know, they were given a 2-point lead. Unfortunately, they just couldn't capitalize on it. Houston Heat scores 4 unanswered points.
2018 NXL World Cup, the semifinals here in the professional division are about to go down. We're here at the Gaylord Palms Resort in Kissimmee, Florida.
In the semifinals, Russian Legion took on Edmonton Impact. They played each other 5 times in 2018, and until this event, it had been 4 wins for Impact, including a 6-point comeback in Texas. But the Russians' 1-point victory in the prelims over Impact got the monkey off their back, and they came in playing confident in their attempt to get into the finals for 2 events in a row. In the first point, it was a race for the first attackers, but on opposite sides of the field. Both teams dropped 2 bodies on the break. Dalton Vanderbilt worked fast on the D side and found his way onto the Russian side of the field, backed up by Nick Laval. But Leo Smotrov made a quicker read, gunning his way up the Snake side to take an early lead. Impact had a 1-body advantage in the next point, shooting Smotrov on his fill outside. Burtnikov then went into the Snake, and Karslev from the D side got a shot on Keith Brown to even up the count. With Kirill Peridny behind him, Karslev then put pressure on Impact as Burtnikov moved up on the Snake side, and Impact conceded the point. Legion put up their 3rd point in a row when Justin Rabakov lost a gunfight in a 3-on-3, trapping his teammates Goldman and Zach Yakimek on the Snake side, forcing another concession. Even down a body 4-on-5, Alex Goldman went to work in the next point, dominating the Snake side, putting up a 2-pack to even up the count, and Zach Yakimek had a 2-pack of his own to put Impact's first point on the board. Then a minor penalty on the Russians brought it to a 3-on-5. Brandon Cornell got the crucial kill to open it up, and Justin Rabakov finished the point by shooting Burtnikov into the ground. It was now a 1-point game with 6 minutes and 23 seconds to go. Goldman was shot oversliding the back Snake bunker, and Impact lost Laval out wide on the D side as well. Impact was forced to concede. The semifinal game in Impact's season was on the line with 4:20 left on the clock after a 5-on-5 breakout for both teams. Even with Impact's history of comebacks against Legion, the way the Russians were playing this layout, a 3-point spread would be hard to fight back from with so little time on the clock. Brandon Cornell was the first to die, followed by Justin Rabikoff. Impact had lost their D side, the point, and after a couple more minutes, the game. And just like that, their bid for yet another series title vanished.
That is gonna do it, and Smotrov pumped up right now. Amazing job by the Russians to contain the attack.
Yep, Russians look good.
So they're actually just gonna sit and burn the rest of this clock off because I don't see a concession coming from Impact.
The Russian Legion had taken down the reigning Titan for the second time at the event, knocked them out of the tournament, gave Heat a chance to take the series title, and advance to the World Cup championship game.
We are playing AC Dallas, Texas Showdown, Sunday at World Cup.
Just be 5 alive, play that sport-controlled game, and we're gonna fucking win, right?
Yep.
We only have to win by 1. It's a Sunday match, right?
Yep.
1 good fucking controlled match.
Hey, use names, right? Use your voice, use your gun. Use names.
Yeah, we gotta have people take control of the talking, right? Let's get the zones early, everybody keep control, right? Let's go, boys. Together, the same way we've been all tournament, right? Yep. 1, 2, 3.
Together!
Let's go, man.
During the first 4 points of the semifinal match between Houston Heat and AC Dallas, everything was going Heat's way, with Ronnie Dizon putting on an absolute clinic. In point 1, Heavy Guns shot Matt Jackson on the break, then Ronnie Dizon shot Brad McCurley, and Heat pushed Moorhead and George into the snake. Hall counterattacked, but had no chance. In point 2, AC had a one-body advantage when they shot Moorhead right away, but TJ Danner lost a gunfight to even up the count. Dizon again stepped up to carry the kill count burden on the D side after shooting TJ, taking out Brad McCurley, and getting onto AC's side of the field to finish the point. Point 3 started with Matt Jackson and Fedorov dropping off the break. Then Brad McCurley lost a gunfight to Chad George. Dizon was able to beat the attacking Mike Waring in a gunfight as well, and AC conceded. In point 4, Heat shot Waring off the break when he attempted to take the snake. With the threat in front of him gone, the hyper-aggressive Moorhead made Matt Jackson pay the toll when he made a bunker move attempt. Down 4 points, a team with less fight in them would have just folded, but AC knew they still had 10 minutes to work with, so they fought back. AC's Ryan Hall saved the next point by winning a 1-on-2 against Chad Boucher and Konstantin Fedorov.
Well, there's still 9 minutes left, you know, so I guess, yeah, now on this one, had they...
and he wins the 1-on-2 situation, so beautiful job by Ryan Hall. Uh-oh, this is not good if you're seeing Fedorov limp. That's a pretty big limp, and Ryan Hall is going to run in there, wins this 1-on-2 against Chad Boucher, and Konstantin Fedorov is coming off, having a real tough time over here. This Heat does not look good. This is not good to see for Houston Heat.
Fedorov limped off the field, apparently with a fresh injury. He would not take the field again in this semifinal game. Another young player from AC kept him in the game in the next point, as Mike Waring stormed up the D side for AC's second score, after Moorhead drew a minor penalty. Waring switched sides in the next point and won his first gunfight down the sideline with Moorhead. He'd also lost Dizon from the D side. Chad George got into the snake and made a shot on Waring, but Brad McCurley and TJ Danner, who was dealing with a recently dislocated shoulder from earlier in the event, finished things off to pull AC Dallas within 1.
That's 3 unanswered points here for AC Dallas.
Yeah, they, well, the Heat guys kind of, when they went up that 4 points, they put it on a different line to give their guys a little bit of a break, and then they lost momentum right there when they changed that lineup and put a couple different guys in. And they're still trying to take ground over on that Dorito side, which doesn't make any sense because that's the most shootable guy. If I want to burn some time off, you want to get 5 guys alive or make sure you shoot some bodies. You don't want to give them 3 guys to shoot at.
The comeback was stopped and the game was decided with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left, when Ryan Hall came to bunker out Ryan Moorhead and received a major penalty, forcing AC to start with 4 players in the next point with 3 points to make up.
As you can see here on the replay, so here comes Ryan Hall as he launches to try to get a shot.
I didn't see the hit until Ryan Moorhead was definitely shooting. I didn't see anything spray off of him from this angle.
I mean, well, he definitely has a big
gun up.
Cyclops. I just couldn't see from our angle here.
Let's see. Yeah.
So we're in the pits with AC Dallas.
Yep, looks like AC is starting down 1.
Right now they're starting down 1. They're reviewing the penalty.
How are we starting down about it?
Everybody was alive. I was alive and John was alive.
So they're arguing that they had 2 bodies alive, but they actually didn't. I think Ronnie Dizon had made a counter punch on the other side and eliminated the snake corner.
Yeah.
Leaving only 1 body left for AC Dallas.
You saw the same thing I saw.
They ran out of steam, and they were sent home by a scrappy Houston Heat, who moved on into the finals with a chance to win it all. With a victory in the final World Cup match, Houston Heat could steal the overall series title from Impact by 2 points. A win for the Russians would mean 2 wins in a row, and confirmation of their squad back in the hunt for the title of the best team in the game. Their World Cup battle would be one of the best final games in recent memory.
We are back at the 2018 NXL World Cup for the most important game of the year, the World Cup final. And it is the Russians taking on Houston Heat.
Like we fucking need to, boys. This is our fucking tournament, all right? This is our fucking World Cup. Let's go, Heat. Let's go, motherfuckers. Believe in each other. All right, let's go. Ronnie? Houston! Heat! Houston! Heat! Houston! Heat! Team! Let's go, boys.
Last fucking match of the year. I think
I'm a fucking king.
Здесь только мы сами за себя, мужики. Так что вперед, погнали на все 150%. Команда на счет 3, мужики. Раз, два, три.
Thank you all, motherfucker. I'm excited. It's a big tournament. The biggest one of the year. The biggest one of my life. And I can't be more excited.
The Russians are officially back and trying to steal another one out here right now.
There you can see, you saw Pants 11. There's the man on your screen right there. Alexander Brirtnikov is in the running for potential overall MVP here with 180 confirmed kills. Just absolutely ridiculous. We'll see what he does in this final matchup. Chad George, though, he has had a phenomenal career and a phenomenal year. Definitely also in the running for overall MVP award winner. We will see. The Russians, Houston Heat, both of these teams are stacked across the board. NXL, the best teams in the world, about to throw down here. The Russians, Houston Heat, their starters are out here ready for this first point. Todd, it's going to be a good one.
The first point of the finals, the Russians zoned up on the D side and took out Ronnie Dizon, and then shot Sam Monville out of the back bunker on the D side as well. A solid full-field coordinated attack by Smotrov, Karslev, and Brirtnikov put the Russians up by 1. After watching the first point from the pits in pain, Konstantin Fedorov decided to limp onto the field and see if he could summon the spirit of the win one more time. For more than a decade, the World Cup had been where Fedorov had achieved legend status. And after spending months on the sidelines on crutches, he wasn't going to let his former team steal Houston Heat's glory. Legion again went heavy guns up, and they put a ball on Ryan Moorhead, and he drew a minor penalty, which took out Chad George. It was a quick point for the Russians, but even though they dug themselves a 2-point hole, Heat's players refused to be demoralized. Dizon and Moorhead had some potent words for their teammates coming back into the pit.
We've been down all weekend.
We're in the pits right now with Houston Heat. You said we've been down all weekend. That's true. They got off to a slow start in a lot of their games. That's one of the reasons they were forced to play. I mean, even in the Ironman match, the Ironman went up against them, what was it?
2-0.
2-0. And Houston Heat had to go and score 3 unanswered to win that game in the quarterfinals. They had to go into overtime.
Houston Heat charged back in the next 2 points to tie the game, led by the attack of Moorhead and the Snake and Fedorov on the D side. Moorhead held it down in a 3-on-3 to put their first point on the board, and then with Moorhead and Chad George drawing the guns, Fedorov destroyed the Russians' D side to put up the second point. In the next point, Heat quickly took the body advantage, shooting out Kirill Peridny. But even down 1 body, the Russians played more aggressive, pushing Brirtnikov and Smotrov into the Snake and past the 50. But Moorhead made a high-risk move to shoot Brirtnikov, and George shot Smotrov, and Heat put up their 3rd unanswered point to take the lead.
I couldn't even hear the concession because the crowd is so loud.
I don't think Karslev heard it either because he spun around and started shooting Heat players over here on the Snake side too.
You see Malloy is going to crawl up, And then here comes Ryan Moore. He comes in, he has to risk his gun up all the way in the top and put a profile up real high. He's able to get the drop on Malloy's head.
Chad George shoots out Smotroff.
And Chad George gets a shot on Smotroff.
Then a penalty on Sam Monville and some tight play from Burtnikov tied the game. For the third point in a row, Heat and the Russian Legion broke out with identical game plans, doubling up the back bunkers, attacking the snake, and trying to get bodies out smart on the D side. Malloy continued to play the aggressor, quickly getting into the snake 50 and getting a kill on Moorhead. But he lost Golev behind him and then was shot in the back by his own team as he took ground. Dizon, Fedorov, and George won a few more gunfights to take back the lead. All season long, Legion's young phenom Leo Smotroff had been earning respect as an aggressive missile on the snake side. And in the next point, he showed the skills opponents had come to fear, running and gunning into the snake, taking out Moorhead to give the Russians a one-body advantage. Chad George then neutralized the threat by winning his gunfight with Smotroff. Burtnikov saved the point, catching Chad George on a move and shooting Dizon cross-field. With the final game tied 4-4 and 1 minute 9 seconds left on the clock, it looked like we could see an overtime point. But disaster struck for the Russians. They lost 2 bodies on the break, and a penalty was assessed on Burtnikov, and Fedorov ran down the Russians' last body. Heat put up a 17-second point.
Just won the World Cup and the series title here as Fedorov stares down the last player left alive and launches into his celebration as he stares over into the pits and does the throw chop again too. Konstantin Fedorov battling through 2 injuries.
17 seconds.
Yeah, well, hey man, we still have
time left.
I was gonna say there's still 52 seconds left to go, so this game is not over. That point was so quick. We gotta kind of pump our own brakes up here a little bit. We cannot yet award Houston Heat the World Cup title as there's still 52 seconds left. And
Jumped a little early on that horn, just before the horn. Didn't have the count right. See Coach Mines, Ryan Smith of Houston Heat.
Ryan Smith is looking for a little feedback from his guys right here. So here is the replay. There's Ryan Moore who's just covering himself in cold water. Yeah, so Smotroff jumps a little bit there.
Continues to go out and then gets picked up either on the dive in or in the overslide.
Referee gets in there and pulls him out.
Pantaleaf comes off.
Yeah,
There's the
Pantaleaf
liner
comes off. There's the liner on Burtnikov. So absolutely disastrous point for the Russians, where the crowd is pumped up right now. To see Fedorov launches into his signature celebration.
With a quick point, there was still time for the Russians to tie the game again. But it wasn't meant to be, as Heat crushed their attack, earning not just a World Cup victory, but the series title as well, edging out Impact by just 2 points.
For the Russians, and as time expires, Houston Heat shocks the paintball world and steals the series title away from Edmonton Impact. Unbelievable performance from Houston Heat here at the World Cup. They win the world title, they win the series championship, and we have a new best team in paintball, and it's Houston Heat. Unbelievable performance. You can see the pits are just going wild right now. The crowd shouting Houston Heat. Fedorov comes and does the throat chop to the entire crowd, just selling it here. I love it. Fedorov's gonna strip his pack off and chuck his pack into the stands. Fist pump to the sky.
Looks like that pack belongs to Go Sports now.
Wow, what a finish right there for Houston Heat.
I just got injured like game before in the semifinals, and I play with that thing. I just tied it up like as much as I can because the Russian machine is here.
But let's get a look here at our final rankings for 2018. Houston Heat steals the series title away from Edmonton Impact by 2 points. Yeah, Ryan Moorhead, our MVP. Hey, Ryan, I just would like to say that we had already awarded you MVP before Randy came and yelled at us that you should win the MVP. So we've been watching you perform. You were just so gutsy out there, just nasty, constantly pushing the issue. Now, obviously, you've been doing that since day one of your professional career, but talk to me about what it was like. I think you played every single point for Houston Heat. How crazy was it out there for you?
You know, honestly, I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life. I feel like I'm 20 again. This is a big monkey off my back, and our team and our organization and all our fans. It's just so much support throughout. I mean, I'm more happy to just win it for them, but I will say this is my first World Cup win. I've won series titles and titles all over the world, but I never won a World Cup, so it's been a long time coming, and yeah, honestly, I'm just speechless. I want to thank our sponsors. I want to thank DLX. I want to thank HK, Virtue, Nike, just everyone, ANS. I'm just excited.
Well, hey, man, you know what? Thank the heart that lives inside you, my friend, because I love you as a person. I obviously love you as a player. Every year we think it can't get crazier, and it does. So I'm Matty Marshall with Todd Martinez, and on behalf of our entire broadcast crew, we will see you guys next year.
When you make the conscious decision to pick up a paintball gun and head out into the world of tournament paintball in search of adventure, what you're really seeking is a story. The fun and the challenge, the trials and the accolades, those all fade. Even if you're successful, the trophies will sit there and collect dust. The prize money will get spent. But what remains are the moments, the memories, a powerful story. Sunday has a special place in paintball. What happens on Sunday defines our sport. It's where our history gets written and where heroes are made. It's where all the hard work, the welts, and the time spent come together to create victory or defeat. What happens on Sunday is why people will remember your name. That's the story you're about to watch. Not just the story of one team or one player, but the story of a year. 1 year in the Pro Division in the National X-Ball League, the NXL. 5 tournaments. 20 teams fighting over 3 days until one remains, raising a trophy on Sunday. This is the story of 5 Sundays.